the more questions you ask, the more clarity you gain, the more you get them to talk about themselves, they're going to believe themselves before they believe you. And so if you can get them to vocalize and verbalize exactly why they want you and your services, then game over. They're going to sign with you.
This is the After Brief, except instead of boring bullet points and corporate jargon, you're getting the real stories, strategies, and insider tips that make real businesses grow. We're taking the stuff most people keep off the record and turning the mic on. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Lucky Girl Social Podcast. Today, I am so excited because we are joined by the one and only Allison, sales expert and sales coach inside of our Charm Collective coaching program, and also sales manager for the Lucky Girl Social team. So she brings such a wealth of knowledge. And after working with our clients for the last 2.5 years and also just coming into our company and absolutely dominating and crushing the sales process, I feel like you are in such good hands today to learn all about sales. Today, we're really focusing on some of the core mistakes that social media managers, freelancers, and agency owners make when it comes to the sales process. So welcome, Emma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Now I'm blushing.
You never blush.
No, I feel blessed to be here.
How long have we known each other?
It was December 2022.
Wow.
She made me work on Boxing Day. That was the first day of my shift. I'll never forget.
And I should have known then you were a keeper.
I was like, well, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's been such an amazing journey. I feel so honored to have had you with us for the last 3 years, over 3 years now. And I just can't wait to continue seeing you grow.
Thank you.
But let's talk about social media managers, freelancers, agency owners. You're in the weeds every single day with these incredible women in our program. And you're hearing a lot of the same core issues over and over again. And I would love to hear, like, what do you feel are these core pieces that make women believe that they're bad at sales or that they're overpriced, when in actuality, they're just missing these small little tweaks that would make them so much more successful when it came to sales?
Yeah, well, I think going to the pricing piece there, so I coach weekly, and one of the dominating questions and thoughts and worries and concerns that, it'll come out in different ways, that'll manifest depending on the client of Lucy's comes out with, is that the pricing is too high. They can't sign a high ticket client, which is what we teach. This is not the case. It's actually never the price. If you think about anything that you purchase, sometimes you actually want something to be more expensive to have that perceived value. Like, think about designer brands, right? Like no, those brands don't reduce their price to get you to invest in them. And so I'm constantly saying it's never about the price. And time after time after time, when I teach the girls on the other side, it's actually about your confidence, it's about the clarity and the conviction you have in your strategy, in yourself and in your business. That's when they sign that client at a higher ticket price, and then they come back and they're like, oh my God, I didn't believe it. And I'm just like, well, yeah, like it's true, it happens, but it takes a minute for them to get there, I think.
Totally. And I think like what you just said, if somebody walks into Prada or Gucci or wherever and they walk out without buying them, do you think Prada and Gucci are like, oh my God, did we price ourselves too high? Oh my God, should we reduce our bags? Like, maybe we're out of our mind. Like Hermes, a Birkin sells for $30,000. Do you think they've ever been like, oh, it's too high? They like being a lead, and they understand that not everybody is their ideal client, and they're grounded in that, and they believe in themselves enough to be like, yeah, this Birkin, it's $30,000. And if you can't afford it, sorry for your luck. Yeah, bye. Come back when you can. And then they become this brand that's aspirational, where people are like, one day when I make it, I'm going to buy a Birkin. And it's like on their vision board, and it doesn't reduce the value of the brand at all. And I think like you need to start our clients and freelancers and agency owners that are insanely talented. Need to start acting like they're the Birkins of the industry.
I always say less is more. Offer less for more. But do it well.
Yeah.
And then you're giving a service that they can't live without. And then that's when you sign a client for not only 3 months, but 6 months and 12 months. Like, oh, I have the elite service here. Like, they're really diving into exactly what I want inside of my business and they understand me, rather than I'm going to add everything into my package. Actually, no, I'm going to make it cheaper and add everything just to keep you as a buyer. And then you end up with a customer that's not even satisfied.
It makes you question their validity. And we want to sell a high ticket service, which means that your clients want to feel like they can trust you, they respect you, and like they don't have to be elbows deep in the process because you're the expert.
Yeah.
And when you're selling it for $500, $750, $1,000, they're not like, oh, now I can breathe. I have somebody that's taking care of me. They're like, no, now I have to micromanage. And that's why we're also attracting clients that are like breathing down our backs. And we're like, what the hell? It's so cheap. Why are they breathing down my back? It's like, because they don't trust you because your pricing is too low.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah.
Love.
So that's been a huge shift.
Yeah.
Having that confidence and conviction.
What do you think about when somebody says they feel like the market is oversaturated?
Oh, I love this one. It so isn't. There's billions and billions of people on this planet, and we were actually sat out at dinner last night, and we were all kind of like looking at brands online, and we were specifically looking at a town in Wilmington that one of our team members lives in North Carolina, and they have probably 10 coffee shops there. And there's a coffee shop there that the coffee, guys, I am an avid coffee drinker. Like, I am so
She's
snobby.
embarrassed by her Starbucks cup.
No, I am. I'm covering up the stuff. I'm like, am I drinking Starbucks right now? I am such a coffee snob, and I really enjoy different tastes of coffee. And in Wilmington, there's 1 to 2 to 3 amazing places. The coffee's about $5. There's this one place, maybe I shouldn't promote them even further, but it's called Hidden Grounds. Go and find them on Instagram. Their marketing, oh my goodness, they have dominated. They were one of the newest coffee shops there. They have stood out online. They have confidence in themselves, conviction in themselves. They shout from the rooftops who they are and what they do, and they're a dinosaur-themed coffee shop. Their coffee, guys, 6 out of 10 at the best. Yet their line is consistently out the door. Now, them being a newer coffee shop, they could have gone to such a small town like Wilmington, seen the other great coffee shops and thought, it's too saturated. But they didn't. They were like, we're going to make a difference. We're going to stand out. We're going to improve our marketing. We're going to be playful on our stories. We're going to have a whole experience for our customers to really get into. And they are by far, people travel to Wilmington for this coffee shop.
Yeah, you said there's lines around the block.
And I'm perplexed because the coffee isn't that great.
Yeah.
There said
Messaging, positioning, branding, and owning your worth.
Yes.
That's what they're doing well.
Exactly. And that's what we teach. Well, Lucy teaches our clients to do.
The two of us together. Emma's always like, your brand, your business. I'm like, it's a we. It's ours.
I'm never leaving.
Yeah, I think, and also when you look at it, there are so many people that don't know what they're doing in the social media landscape. And I think they create a bad reputation for the rest of the social media managers, agency owners, creatives out there who are insanely talented. Yeah. So if you're standing there and you know that you're talented and you're not earning the money that you should be, it's time to level up and stand in your greatness and ask for more, because clients are begging for you. They're waiting for you.
And they're paying upwards of 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 15K months for services that they really want to invest in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely. And I think the other piece that I will say, and hopefully I'm not getting into your 3 keys, mistakes that social media managers and agency owners are making, but a lot of times what I see is that we're selling hey, I post 12 times a month for you, or 12 times a week, just deliverables, whatever, just the deliverables, rather than saying I create content that's binge worthy, that has your ideal audience asking for more, begging for more, following along with your story, that gets them so invested in your brand that they feel like they're building their brand with you. So anytime you drop a product, they're like, yes, here's my card.
Yeah. That was one of my three biggest myths. Being too vague. I think I would summarize that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, just saying like, oh, I post this amount of days, like it doesn't mean anything. You've got to, like Lucy, you've got to partner with them. They've got to have trust, people by people. They've got to have trust that your business is the one that's going to get them to their goals. Not that you're going to post this amount of days, you're going to do this strategy. Like they care that you care and you've built enough trust with them to go on this journey with them to wherever they're going, whatever their vision and goal is. That's what you've got to portray in your sales process to get them to say yes to you. I mean, another thing that I see is, oh my God, so often, and it's like, how is this still happening? Like pitching too soon, almost assuming that we know what's inside of our prospect's mind. So we're not diving deep enough and we're almost pitching our offer and just assuming that because they've reached out to you and you're a social media manager, oh, they want my services. Well, do you know anything about this person? Have you asked questions? Have you found out like what they're struggling with? Have you found out like what they really want to improve? And I'm sorry, you might not actually be able to help them.
Yeah.
So I go into every single conversation with like, hey, like who is this person? Where are they at? Like I physically want to try and get inside of their brain, like be like, what is going on here? How do I need to support them? And then if you have a killer strategy, then it'd be an injustice to not actually then sell yourself. So that then goes into the next step.
But what you just said is you might not actually be able to help them, and that's okay. That doesn't mean anything that anything is wrong with you or your service, but you want to weed out the bad fit clients, the clients that you can't help, because it creates more stress for you as a brand, and it's going to create bottlenecks for you if you're so focused on this one client that came in that had insane goals. They wanted to get 1 million followers overnight. And you were like, oh yeah, I can do that for you. Absolutely. You're going to be so stressed out and they're not going to be happy. It's risking your reputation as a brand. So like getting it through to your soul that it's okay to say like, hey, like at this time, I don't believe that we're the best fit.
Yeah.
And that creates so much power in the relationship. It's just like, I always say this, business is just like dating, but sales is just like dating. And so often on the first date, the discovery call, women are so focused on like, oh my gosh, does he like me? Like, or do they like me? Like, do I look pretty? Like, oh my gosh, what are they thinking about me? Like, I hope they like me. Oh my goodness. And you never stop to ask, like, do I like this person?
Yeah. Are they a good fit for me?
Are they a good fit? Like, do they have the attributes that I want? And I feel like there's a lot of people that get into long-term relationships and marriages that like never stop to be like, wait, do I actually like this other person?
Yeah, for real.
Because they're so concerned about the other person. I think a discovery call and a sales call is the exact same thing.
Yeah, 1000%. I think that's why mindset comes into sales so much. With my Lucy's like, you've got to know yourself and have conviction. Like I went on a date with that Charles guy. Oh my goodness, I sat in a coffee shop and he spoke for me for my drink and I was like, excuse me, I don't want that. And I ordered myself my own drink. Then he went on to speak for 4 hours. Hi guys. I was exhausted. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to have to tell this guy that I need to go home now. And I did. I said, hey, like, I'm going to go now. And he was like, I've talked at you this whole time, haven't I? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And he was like, I mean, what percentage would you say? And I was like, 95%. He went, oh, that bad? And like, I wasn't even afraid to say that. And then I got home and I couldn't even speak to the girl I was living with.
To the couch.
I crawled to the couch and couldn't mutter a word because his energy wasn't just aligned with me. It was too much. And I said in the moment, I was like, this isn't going to work. And he respected that so much. He was like, wow, this is refreshing. And clients will remember you if you're really honest in the process and you tell them everything, even if you are a good fit and you're like, hey, this is the package and this is the service that you need. Here's why. So people want to be led and they want to know exactly what it is from you that they are or aren't going to get as well, rather than it being ambiguous.
Yeah, I think that is so. Emma was telling us this story yesterday, and we were laughing so hard. But that happens too. So I feel like people do one of two things on sales calls. They talk the entire time because they're just trying to fill space and sell themselves, rather than like truly you should be letting your prospects speak 80% of the time and doing 20% of the talking.
Yeah. We're not a brochure, guys. You know, like when you go into like one of those shops and you like book a holiday and you're like looking at a pretty brochure.
Not a brochure.
Brochure.
I was like, where's
it's a brochure. We're not a brochure. Like you don't need to sell yourself on that call. The more questions you ask, the more clarity you gain, the more you get them to talk about themselves. They're going to believe themselves before they believe you. And so if you can get them to vocalize and verbalize exactly why they want you and your services, then game over. They're going to sign with you because they're like, oh, they've really understood me. They've really heard me. They've asked me all the questions. They've dove deep into my business. She can help me.
Yeah, you almost get them to handle their own objections
for
you, right?
Literally.
They're like, why do you think this might not work?
Yeah.
Why is this the perfect time for you?
My favorite, do you offer a guarantee? I'm like, oh, what guarantee do you want? And then they tell you their objection and you're like, can I just be straight with you? And they're like, okay. But you only get 2 guarantees in life. Do you know what they are? And they kind of like cheekily laugh at you and you go, well, one, you got to pay taxes, right? Unfortunately. And the second is you're going to die. So, I mean, if I gave you a guarantee, would that be fair? Would that be ethical? And they're like, that's so fair. And then you can carry on with a normal conversation.
Now that I brought you back down to earth, let's continue.
For real.
I love that. Okay, so far we've covered you're being too vague.
Too vague, yeah.
Is one of the main issues.
Yeah.
You're not going deep enough. Is that the second, or is that still part of the first?
Yeah, so that's still kind of part of the first,
okay. Right? What's the next one?
The qualifying process.
Yes.
Getting on calls with clients. So sometimes before Lucy's clients, get into Lucy's curriculum and understand the whole sales process, they will say, well, I'm having these calls, or people are ghosting me, or I just can't get them to sign, or they say they're interested, or they say they're going to think about it. We'll get to that after. They say they're going to think about it and then they never sign. And I'm like, well, were they a good fit? Which goes back to the dating piece. And they've not actually done any of the qualification process. Like the sales process starts in the DMs or whatever that first touch point is, whether it was an email, whether it was a phone call, whatever it was, whatever your process looks like, that first touch point, that is where the sales process begins. And I think sometimes we friend zone ourselves and we don't qualify them properly. So then we are getting on calls with leads that unfortunately you could never close. And then you make that about yourselves and you're like, well, I just can't close these higher ticket clients. No, it's that you don't have a process. You've not got structure and confidence to actually follow that through. And that's something that we teach massively inside. So it's almost like taking a step back to move forward.
Well, I think it's operating from like a place of being grounded and not scarcity. And mindset plays into sales, as you've said. So much.
Yeah.
And getting really good at sales, I always say this is like the best skill. It creates so much confidence in yourself because you're like, I can do anything now.
Yeah.
Like I am so good at this, but it's really just human connection.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so sexy. Can we just add that?
Yeah. I always say sales is like the sexiest thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think like even I see it where clients will come to us and they'll say like, well, we have a lot of client churn. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at your entire client journey map. Let's look at all of these things.
Yeah.
And then I go back and I'm like, it's because you're signing the wrong fit clients in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it might feel like a fast win, but then once you constantly are having churn, it's making you question yourself. Mm-hmm. It's making you doubt your experience, your skill set. It makes you question like, can I even do this? Do I even want this? So that qualification process is so key. And we were talking about it today. One bad employee can rotten the entire bunch. It spreads like an infection. One poor bad client can like make you question everything. You have to hold your standards so high that you are unwilling to allow anybody through the gates of your business, whether it's your team or your clients, that are not the ideal fit. And it starts with the first point of contact and not just being, oh, yay, this person showed interest in me. Let's go. It's like, no, let me see if I really want this. It's the same thing. You mentioned Hinge yesterday. This is going to become a dating show because I just keep leading it back to dating. But like I haven't been single for so long, but when I was, dating's just like those sites just came out. And I think it was Tinder, right? The first one came out, but I wasn't going on dates with every person that messaged me. Yeah,
you were finding out.
Yeah, I was like, why do I want to go on a date with you? I'm not sure.
Tell me.
Yeah.
And I think as well, that's why mindset comes into, I think we do people please. And I think it is, and that's why we constantly come back to like confidence, clarity, convictioning yourself. Because I think part of the sales process, as Lucy saying, you just jump on the first client that comes, it's a confidence boost. But it's like you really do have to it's like zooming out, isn't it? and like being like, is this person really a good fit? Like, is this going to move my needle forward, or is this going to be a poor experience that is then going to put me 10 steps back? And it's having that, like you said, the groundedness to see that.
Yeah, and I understand in the beginning wanting to get experience and wanting to like just get your hands dirty, which okay, fine. But maybe that's more of like a fling or a situationship. Let's not marry that client.
Yeah. Let's not sign them for 12 months.
Yeah.
And then hate our life.
And there also are ways, obviously, to get vetted clients that are a great fit and a great alignment and will respect you and do it in a healthy way. But like I definitely in the beginning was signing anyone and everyone. I quit my job. I had like $20,000 in credit card debt. I flew to Hawaii and then I was like, I think I'm going to freelance. And so I came back and I was like, all right, how am I going to pay my bills? And I just started signing anyone. I got lucky. One of my first clients ended up like coming to my wedding. She was such a sweet human. But there were others along the way where I was like, oh my God, I hate this person.
And I've seen some of that. Yeah. We shouldn't have signed them, but we did. Yeah. It's all a learning curve. We come with you the experience. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
That's what I always say. I've made all the pitfalls. I've fell into all of them. I'm just trying to help everybody avoid the ones that I fell into.
Don't do what I did. And I think that leads me to coming back to the think about it that I mentioned a moment ago. When you are speaking with clients, or you are too vague, or the think about it objection comes up. But I want to really loving, like if you are on our team or you're our sister, very lovingly, I'd be like, it's your fault that you're getting that objection. And as a sales coach, I'm quite stern with our clients inside because I want to see them win big. Like I'm like that big, bold sister that can kind of get away with saying anything.
It's also the accent.
Maybe. But I'm very tough on them in a loving way because I want them to see that getting an I think about it objection is actually, it's your fault. There was something that's like missing in the process. They don't have the clarity and the conviction that they need in you to actually say yes to move forward. So that is then why that comes up, and then why that affects our confidence and why that gives us clients, I can't do this. I can't achieve that. I can't sign those clients. No, your actual sales process, there's something along the way that's not quite working well that is leading to I need to think about this. Or I'm going to go and pray on this. I'm going to go to sleep and can I let you know tomorrow? These are all I think about it.
Can we do a little role play of I'm going to think about it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are you selling me?
What am I selling you? What do you want? Food. Lucy loves food.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
Lucy loves food. Lucy does love food.
We're having that Indian that we had for breakfast.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So I know we're doing a podcast, but I'm starving. So should we just end now and go and get some Indian?
I'll think about it.
Well, okay. So when you say you want to think about it, like what's coming up for you? Like what do you need to think about specifically?
I'm just not sure if right now is the right time. I mean, we are in the middle of a podcast.
Okay, I know, but just a moment ago, I hear everything that you're saying, but just a moment ago, you expressed that you were really hungry and you would like to eat before, like, going on with more episodes, so you had higher energy. Is that still true?
Yes.
Okay. So would you say after this one, if we wrap this one up, it could be good to put that Indian inside so we can get more energy?
It could be, but maybe Indian makes my stomach hurt, so I'm worried.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I hear that. And we don't obviously want an upset stomach. So there is a place that does Indian, but it also does Greek. So we could go there and then, best of both worlds. You can go into the Greek place and I can go into the Indian place.
Wow. Yeah.
Would that work?
That sounds like a good idea.
Does that sound like a good idea? If we wrap this up and go move forward?
Yes.
Amazing.
I love that.
Guys, I never shut up. There's the key. When you get an objection, so when I think about it, it's not an objection, it's a smokescreen, right? Then the only objections you're going to get are money, fear, logistics. And if they're telling you anything outside of money, fear, or logistics, so basically I can't afford it, or they're telling you that they're worried that they're not going to get the results, that's fear. Or they're logistically saying, hey, right now isn't great because they've got a wedding, or because there's physically some logistical piece, like they physically can't afford it right now, and you've opened the wallet and you understand that's true. They're the only reasons you don't continue the conversation. You book a follow-up, right? Well, you go through the objections and then book a follow-up. Think about it is a smokescreen. They're not ready, or they don't trust you enough yet to actually vocalize what's happening. And this is where you have to ask questions. Like if you've sat for an hour with this client and you know you can support them and you're so excited in their vision and they're so excited to work with you and they've given you all the yeses throughout the call, and then you get to the end and they think about it, you are doing them a disservice. And inside of Lucy's program, I literally cried like 2 years ago in New York, or like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I cried walking into the room because I'd had sales girls with all of these people that said yes to Lucy, and I didn't even realize the impact I was having at the time. And so many of them in the room was like, Emma, you helped me say yes to myself by asking me the difficult questions. Now, if when I got that, I need to think about it, I went, oh yeah, okay, sure. Would they have ever signed? Would they have ever changed their life? Would they ever have increased their income? Like, no. And so actually asking the tough questions, and yeah, they feel tough sometimes. Like the girls inside are like, Emma, I can't say that. I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And we teach you how to say that, you know, in a really like way that feels good for you. It helps the client actually say yes to what they want, because at the end of the day, they have a dream, they have a goal, and they want somebody that's going to hold their hand through the whole process and partner with them on their vision, right? That's all they want. They want to feel supported. And if you are the person to get them there, then why on earth, when they say, I need to think about it, you're going, yeah, all right then. Lucy can stay starving for the day. Yeah. And then she'll be really grouchy and angry and want to go bed early. No, we're going in the Indian.
It's true. And like, you're coming at from it from a place of caring about me, right? It's not like, well, I want Indian or I want to make this sale, so I'm going to make Lucy eat Indian. It's like, no, I want to protect you from being grouchy and going to bed early and all of these things. And so like when you have that much conviction in your offer, in your service, that this, and you've asked all the questions to identify that this is the best fit, and you get to this point and they're like, I need to think about it, you're doing them a disservice by being like, okay, fine. Yeah. Or sure, I'll send you the proposal to look over. Like, yeah, absolutely. Get back to me whenever. Yeah. And it's giving like also freelancer energy.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I think we feel we almost feel a little bit rejected, or we don't want to admit that it could be rejection, right? So almost it's like, let's cover it up. They're going to think about it, because I'd rather hear think about it than no. No, we're going to rewire that brain. We'd rather hear yes or no, so we have clarity for ourselves moving forward. And I think when you remove the fear of like the actual rejection piece and you start to understand what's happening in your client's brain, you can then ask the questions that they will need to understand themselves. And, you know, after asking those questions, maybe they can't physically move forward with you, right? But maybe you ask those questions and then they're like, yeah, like this makes sense. Let's move forward. You've actually got them past themselves, because there's two jobs that you've got on a sales call. The first one is to figure out if you can actually support and help this person. The second job is to help them move out of themselves, because with any big investment, it's fucking scary. Think about it. Like, you invest in a wedding, you're scared, you're excited. You invest in like a holiday, you're scared, but you're excited because it's like, oh, what's it going to be like? Are we going to get on the coach? Is the flight going to be okay? Is we going to be delayed? Like, there's always an anticipatory kind of nervous energy around anything that's new. And I always speak with my clients and say, let's speak to what you're actually feeling right now and validate that, because like your amygdala, which is the front part of your brain, is in control. And if you allow that to run the show, you're going to constantly stay in your comfort zone rather than pushing past that and seeing this as a new opportunity, which is going to you're going to feel a little bit nervous or a little bit anxious or a little bit scared. And that's okay, because that means that you're excited. And if that person wasn't feeling a little bit scared, then I'd question if this is even right for them as well. So always speaking to them as well and being like, it's valid that you feel this. Otherwise, are you human?
Yeah, I absolutely love that. What would you say? Like, obviously, a lot of what we talked about so far is about being grounded, about being willing to say no, about really digging deep and asking those questions, which I think is so incredibly important. When you get on that call, your job is to operate like a strategist, right? Like a consultant, because you want to ask those questions, those deep questions. You want that person to walk away from the call and be like, wow, nobody's ever asked me those questions. Yeah. And also like, oh my gosh, I hope she likes me. Did I answer those questions correctly? Like, I want the role swap of like, instead of you focusing on, do they like me? Yeah. It's them walking away being like, oh my God, she was really cool. She asked me all these incredible questions nobody's ever asked me before. She really made me think about my business in a different way. Yeah. She added so much value in a 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute call, like imagine what it would be like to work together. And I think that's what's so different about the process of sales that we teach. The time that you're spending with that client is meant to feel valuable. It's not meant to feel like a normal sales call. You're not supposed to say like, well, how are you going to feel if nothing changes? Like those questions. I know. I hate that question. I know. And always like, what do you mean? Of course something's going to change. There's no way. It's not possible.
But Lucy, how would you really feel?
Like I would feel like I'm going to jump through the screen and smack you in the face. So that is so important because there are people out there that are telling you that's the only way to handle a sales process, right? And we're like, no,
and then it doesn't feel real. And we have our clients saying, but that feels sleazy and salesy. And well, yeah, because it does. And you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I think the biggest shift for our girls has been framing the call and taking that CEO energy.
Yeah.
Like the minute you get on that call, because if you ask a vague overarching question, that client on the other side is going to give you a full rundown of their business and they're in control of the call and they start asking you about your services and your results. Whereas when we begin the call with that rapport and we're like, just finding out a little bit about them, we're like, how's your day been so far? And they let you know, and you're like, okay, great. So what we're going to do on this call is, we're going to take a deeper dive into your business, into, what's working, what's currently not working, where you see yourself. And then of course, we'll put a bit of a plan of action in place. Now, there'll be two things we do here. We can either work with you or, there'll be some other things that we can support you with if this isn't a good fit. How does that feel? And straight away, they feel that you're in charge. They feel safe with you. You built trust with them. And they're like, oh, like she is valid. Like she's real. Like she's legitimate. She's the real deal.
And you're setting the expectations. So you're giving them a picture of what's going to happen. You're creating trust for them. And you're that power dynamic in the beginning of like, hey, I'm in a lead. This dance,
you can trust me.
So freaking important. Where I think a lot of times girls in our program or people that we talk to are like, I felt like I was on the back foot the entire time, just answering their questions. I didn't get to ask any of my questions. And what would you say to somebody that frames the call, but then the power dynamic throughout the call changes and the prospect takes back control and they're doing everything right. They can't get back control of the call. What would you say to them?
I mean, I would probably interject and like, keep asking the questions. Like, I feel like the way that they sometimes try to gain control is they just ramble. So I would tell the girls to cut the client off. Yeah. And then if you cut the client off the first time, the client might look at you like, oh, she stopped me from talking. But then if you do that a couple of times, they get your rhythm and your vibe. And then they understand again, oh, she's asking me the questions and I'm here to respond to those questions.
And I think ultimately, like if a client isn't willing to be led by you on a call, isn't willing to follow your process on a call, they're going to likely treat you like an employee, not an agency, a freelancer, a contractor. Yeah. And then I would just say like, it sounds like you're looking for a full-time employee. Like that's not something that we offer. We have these systems and processes because after X amount of years, out of X amount of experience, like we know how we need to lead and handle a conversation and what questions to ask to ensure that we're a good fit. But like, if you feel like that's not something that you're looking for, like I would definitely recommend a full-time employee.
Yeah. You got to try and see the red flags, guys. Yeah. Your intuition, you got to try and trust it and don't second guess it.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys found this so helpful. I absolutely loved today's conversation. I hope you did as well. If you guys have any questions at all, make sure to drop them over at It's Lucky Girl Social. Emma is incredible. She is so knowledgeable. She has such an amazing impact with our clients, which is why they make her cry, which isn't an easy thing to do. But truly mastering sales, getting good at sales is one of the hottest things that you can do. I can't remember who the owner of he's on Shark Tank and he's the owner of the basketball team in Texas. I don't know. Terrible with names. But anyways, I should definitely know that. He did a quote. I was trying to look for it earlier. That was like, the most powerful thing a woman can do is get good at sales and be comfortable with hearing the word no.
Yeah.
And I could not agree more. It's not a rejection of you if you can't close somebody. You have to stop taking that on. You have to be so grounded in yourself and who you are and the value that you offer, that if somebody isn't the right fit for you, that's okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, God, universe, whoever, for leading the wrong fit away from me. I am still grounded. Instead, I see women so often letting that shatter their confidence, and the person was a prick anyways. Like you would have hated working with them. So
and then moving out the way, we've seen time and time again, another better higher ticket client has literally dropped into that person's world. Whereas if you signed that person who was a prick, Lucy's words, you wouldn't have space to sign that amazing client as well.
Yeah, it's detrimental. This is so powerful. I hope, if anything, this episode taught you to lean into sales and that you're not bad at sales. There are so many small tweaks that you can do to really excel in this category. And I would highly recommend that you do it. If you have any questions, again, head over to Instagram. It's Lucky Girl Social, and we can't wait to chat with you.
And I mean, can I just add there, if you're a marketing agency and you need to improve sales, join Lucy's program. I'm inside. I've got you.
She's the best. Join the program. Join the Charm Collective.
I love it.
That's a wrap on today's After Brief. Remember, the luckiest CEOs aren't born, they're built. Now, go make your move, share this with a friend who's ready to win, and I can't wait to see you next time.